The night was dark, the Everglades, vast and unforgiving. On December 29, 1972, Eastern Airlines Flight 401, a Lockheed L-1011 TriStar, vanished from the radar. It was a routine flight, full of holiday cheer, bound for Miami. But fate had other plans. The crash of Flight 401 sent shockwaves across the aviation world. It left behind a trail of unanswered questions, and a legacy shrouded in mystery and whispers of the paranormal. This is the haunting story of Eastern Airlines Flight 401. Eastern Flight 401 was a regular service from New York's JFK Airport to Miami International. On board were 163 passengers and 13 crew members. The flight crew was experienced. Captain Robert Loft, First Officer Albert Stockstill, and Second Officer Donald Repo were seasoned pilots. They were responsible for guiding hundreds of souls through the night sky. The mood was festive. Passengers were eager to be home for the holidays. Little did they know, their journey would end in tragedy. As Flight 401 approached Miami, the unexpected happened. A seemingly minor issue arose. The landing gear indicator light failed to illuminate. The crew, perplexed, initiated a series of checks. They circled over the Everglades, trying to troubleshoot the problem. Time ticked by. The pressure mounted.
Unbeknownst to them, they were about to face every pilot's worst nightmare.
While the crew grappled with the landing gear issue, something critical went unnoticed. The autopilot had been inadvertently disengaged. The aircraft, now flying manually at a low altitude, was slowly descending. The swampy terrain below, shrouded in darkness, offered no visual cues. The pilots, their attention consumed by the landing gear, were unaware of their perilous descent. The inevitable happened.
With a deafening roar, Flight 401 crashed into the Everglades.
The impact was catastrophic.
The crash of Flight 401 was a tragedy. But, the story took an even stranger turn in the aftermath.
Reports began to surface from those connected to the disaster. Tales of unusual sightings, eerie occurrences, and unexplained phenomena.
It seemed the spirits of Flight 401 were restless. The wreckage, salvaged from the swamp, was used in the repair of other aircraft. And that's when things took a truly chilling turn. Section 6. Don Repo's Encounter, a chilling testimony. One of the most compelling accounts came from a senior Eastern Airlines pilot, a man with decades of experience and a reputation for being level-headed and reliable.
He claimed to have had a chilling encounter on a routine flight, one that would forever change his perspective on the unexplained. This particular flight was unique because it incorporated salvaged parts from the ill-fated Flight 401, which had tragically crashed in the Florida Everglades. As he meticulously prepared for takeoff, going through his pre-flight checks, he noticed a figure standing in the cockpit, dressed in a flight engineer's uniform. The figure, he swore, was none other than Don Repo, the second officer of Flight 401, who had tragically lost his life in the crash. Repo's presence was unmistakable, and the pilot felt a cold shiver run down his spine as he recognized the familiar face from old photographs and memorials. With a grave expression, Repo warned him about a potential engine fire, a warning that seemed both urgent and sincere. The pilot, though shaken by the apparition, decided to heed the warning. He double-checked the engine systems and briefed his crew on the potential danger. And sure enough, as the flight progressed, a fire did break out in one of the engines, just as Repo had forewarned. The incident was later documented in official reports, and the story of the ghostly warning spread quickly, sending chills down the spines of everyone who heard it. Aviation experts and skeptics alike were baffled by the account. Some dismissed it as a mere coincidence, while others believed it was a supernatural intervention. The story of Don Repo's ghost became a part of aviation lore, a chilling reminder of the tragic Flight 401 and the mysterious ways in which the past can sometimes reach out to the present. For the senior pilot, the encounter was a profound experience that left him with more questions than answers, forever altering his view of the world and the unseen forces that might influence it. Today, the aviation industry continues to learn from past incidents, constantly improving safety protocols and training to ensure that such tragedies are never repeated. Yet the story of Don Repo's ghost remains a haunting testament to the enduring mysteries of the skies, a tale that continues to captivate and intrigue those who hear it. This was Section 6 Don Repo's encounter, a chilling testimony.
Section 7. The Ghost of Flight 401. Fact or fiction? This is a tale that has intrigued and mystified aviation enthusiasts and skeptics alike for decades. The stories surrounding Flight 401 are the stuff of aviation legend. They tell of ghostly apparitions and eerie encounters that have been reported by numerous credible witnesses. Were they the product of overactive imaginations still reeling from the tragedy? Or perhaps these stories were born out of the collective grief and trauma experienced by those who survived and those who lost loved ones. Or could there be something more to these chilling accounts? Could it be that the spirits of those who perished in the crash are still lingering, trying to communicate with the living? Some dismiss them as mere superstition. They argue that these ghost stories are nothing more than the result of stress and the human mind's tendency to find patterns in chaos. Others believe they are a testament to the power of the human psyche to conjure the departed. They suggest that the intense emotional energy surrounding the crash has somehow imprinted itself on the environment, creating these spectral phenomena. Whatever the explanation, the stories have persisted. They have been passed down through generations, becoming part of aviation folklore. They serve as a chilling reminder of the fragility of life. Each tale, each whispered account, is a tribute to those who lost their lives in the tragic accident, and the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding. These stories challenge us to consider the unknown, to question what we believe about life, death, and the possibility of an afterlife. They remind us that, despite all our advancements, there are still things that science cannot explain. Section 8. The Legacy of Flight 401. A Tragedy Remembered. The crash of Eastern Airlines Flight 401 remains one of the most investigated accidents in aviation history.
It led to significant improvements in cockpit design and pilot training. The tragedy forced the industry to confront the importance of crew resource management and the need for clear communication in high-stress situations. But beyond the technical aspects, the story of Flight 401 continues to capture imaginations.
Section 9. Conclusion. The unanswered questions linger. The haunting mystery of Eastern Airlines Flight 401 continues to fascinate. Decades have passed since that fateful night, yet the questions remain as vivid as ever. What truly happened on board that ill-fated flight? Was it merely a tragic accident compounded by human error? The official reports point to a series of unfortunate events, a cascade of small mistakes that led to a catastrophic outcome. But is that the whole story? Or did the spirits of those lost that night truly walk among us, seeking solace, or perhaps offering a final warning? Numerous accounts from survivors and rescuers speak of eerie encounters, unexplained phenomena, and ghostly apparitions. Could these be the restless souls of those who perished, trying to communicate from beyond the grave? The answer, like the murky depths of the Everglades where the aircraft met its fate, remains elusive. The swamp, with its dense foliage and hidden dangers, seems to guard its secrets jealously. Many have tried to uncover the truth, but the Everglades hold their mysteries close. One thing is certain, the story of Flight 401 serves as a chilling reminder of the mysteries that surround us. The black box recordings, the testimonies, the newspaper headlines, all pieces of a puzzle that may never be fully solved. Yet, they continue to captivate and intrigue. And the enduring power of the human spirit, in life and in death. The memorials, the vigils, the stories passed down through generations, they all speak to our need to remember, to honor, and to find meaning in the face of tragedy. The legacy of Flight 401 is not just one of loss, but also of resilience, hope, and the unending quest for answers.